Unveiling true character. Two shocking signs you missed. Are you ready? TOC, the storm raged on the horizon, dark clouds swirling like a restless crowd at a horror show, whispering secrets only the brave dared to uncover. In the small town of Millfield, shadows danced on the walls, flickering like old film reels showing moments too wild to be real. What secrets lurked beneath the town's facade? There were whispers, rumors told with trembling voices, unbelievable tales of hidden truths that could shatter lives. It all began with the peculiar old clock tower in the center of Millfield. Locals called it a cursed relic, said to strike 13 times at midnight. Those who heard it reported strange dreams, twisted encounters that chipped away at reality. Was it really just chiming, or did the tower carry echoes of forgotten souls? One night, Maya stood beneath it, her heart racing as the clock struck 13. The air turned icy, a shock racing through her veins as an inexplicable dread settled in her bones. Then there was the enigmatic bookshop on Willow Street, where the owner, Mr. Finch, had eyes like stormy skies. He spoke to customers in riddles, revealing only 3 books in the entire store, each holding tears and laughter within their pages. Those who took the books often found their lives inexplicably altered. A little girl cried as she returned home with one, seeing her reflection shift and change like a chameleon. "Mom, why does it look like me but not really me?" she asked, gripping the book tight, eyes wide with uncertainty. As Maya wandered through the shop, she could feel the hairs on the back of her neck rise. Something pulled at her, whispering for her to understand the deeper meaning of the strange happenings, to dig until the truth clawed its way to the surface. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. As Maya stood frozen in thought, the clock tower loomed above her, a giant sentinel of fate. Was she ready to uncover the pieces of herself hidden beneath the surface? Visions danced in her mind, of a town cloaked in mystery and enchantment. She hardly caught her breath as she heard footsteps approaching with shadows lurking close. She sensed she was no longer alone. What awaited her in the embrace of the unknown? Would she be strong enough to face what was coming? Maya's heart hammered against her ribcage, each beat echoing with a terrifying urgency. The footsteps grew louder, quickening like thunder rolling in the distance. She turned slowly, her breath hitching in her throat as she faced the direction of the noise. A figure emerged from the shadows, cloaked in the deep maroon of a tattered velvet coat. Mr. Finch. His wild hair framed his gaunt face, eyes shimmering with the weight of hidden knowledge. "You shouldn't be here," he warned, his voice a low rumble that sent chills down her spine. "The clock tower is restless tonight." "Restless? What do you mean?" Maya's voice barely rose above the wind's whispers. She glanced back at the clock, now eerily silent, as if holding its breath. The 13th chime, it signals a shift. A collision of past and present. He stepped closer, the smell of old paper and ink clinging to him like a ghost. "You felt it, didn't you? An urge to uncover what lies beneath. But not all truths are meant to be discovered." "Why?" Maya demanded, the urgency in her chest mingling with a surge of defiance. "Why hide it? We deserve to know." Finch shook his head, a sadness settling in the creases of his brow. "Some truths drag chains behind them, shackling those who dare to dive too deep. You felt the pull, haven't you? The whispers?" Maya nodded, her instincts screaming at her to step away. But her curiosity was stronger than her fear. She had already come too far to turn back. "What did you mean by collision?" She took a step toward him, the ground beneath her feeling increasingly unstable. "There are echoes, Maya, and they will speak to you, if you let them. Finch's gaze flickered over her shoulder. But others seek these echoes too. They crave the chaos, a chance to rewrite their own stories. Not all of them have good intentions. Confusion washed over her. What do you mean? Who? Before Finch could respond, an unnatural rumble vibrated through the ground, followed by a guttural chime, one that resonated in her bones. She flinched, her vision narrowing on the tower. The 13th chime echoed, not just in sound but in the air itself. A surreal wave rippled outwards, distorting the familiar surroundings of the square. "Run!" Finch shouted, his voice a mere echo over the cacophony of the chimes. Maya hesitated, but instinct took over. She darted away, the cool night beckoning her like a breath of fresh air. She glanced back to see Finch engulfed in shadows, his figure blurring, just as the town began to unravel at the edges. She felt her feet pound against the pavement, awareness splitting open as reality twisted around her. The world transformed, merging aspects of time, faces of the past flickered alongside present horrors. She could see Millfield, not as it was, but as it had been, and as it could be. Faint whispers clawed at her ears, colors bled into one another, and she stumbled over rocks that seemed to rise from the ground like emerging specters. Did she really want to know the truth? Then, a piercing scream shattered the night, reverberating off the chaotic walls of reality. It was a cry of fear, of despair. Maya froze, torn between the slippery grasp of the dangerous knowledge she sought and the dire consequence of what she might find. What did it mean that she was the one hearing it? Driven by instinct, she pressed onward, every step feeling like a descent into madness. The reflections in the shop windows twisted into faces she recognized but didn't know, an eerie dissonance that sent her nerves into overdrive. As she reached Grim Alley, known for secrets that often devoured the truth, she noticed the old door of the bookshop slightly ajar. A flicker of light poured out, beckoning her. It was in there, or perhaps something much darker awaited her. Would she uncover the truths that could save her? Or would those truths vanish her into the echo of Millfield forever? The choice loomed before her, and in that shadowed doorway, she realized she may not be the only one seeking answers. What terrors awaited in the shadows of the shop? Would they change everything Maya knew about herself? Maya hesitated at the threshold, the warmth of the flickering light pulling her in while the cool air behind her pushed her back. Her heart raced, matching the chaos swirling in her mind. What if she stepped into something she couldn't escape? But the urge to uncover the truth clawed at her, a relentless whisper that wouldn't let go. The moment she crossed the threshold, the heavy scent of aged paper and dust enveloped her like an embrace. The bookshop was a labyrinth of towering shelves, each packed with tomes sealed in dust and mystery. But it was the flicker at the far end, a pale light glowing from a reading nook, that drew her in. Shadows danced along the spines of books, casting ghostly shapes that whispered secrets of lives lived long ago. "Hello." Maya's voice broke the silence, but it felt swallowed in the vastness of the shop. Echoes flickered around her, dancing like fireflies, but their meanings were lost on her. "Welcome," a voice murmured, as smooth as velvet yet fraying at the edges. It belonged to a woman sitting in that nook, her fingers tracing the words of a book that seemed to shimmer under her touch. She looked up, eyes glimmering like stars caught in the grip of night. "You seek the echoes," she said. Her gaze pierced through Maya as if she could see everything hidden away in her soul. I need to know," Maya stammered, feeling exposed under the weight of her own resolve. "Why are the echoes coming to me? What does it mean?" The woman smiled, a curve of the lips that was both inviting and threatening. "Understanding comes at a price, dear one. But you must first unveil that which is hidden in your own heart. Are you prepared for the truth?" Maya swallowed hard. There was an intensity in the air, a thick tension charged with the weight of unsaid things. Her mind raced through possibilities, her instincts begging her to run. Yet, the thrill of knowing danced beneath her skin. "Show me," she whispered, her voice barely rising above the soft rustle of pages turning. The woman nodded and gestured toward a mirror that hung on the wall opposite her. "Gaze into it." The truth you find may not be what you expect. With apprehension wrapped around her like a vice, Maya approached the mirror. Its surface shimmered as if it contained 1,000 moving reflections. As she looked deeper, the image began to morph, revealing not just her face, but shadowy figures hovering at the edges. Each one bore the weight of secrets long buried, anguish, betrayal, hope. She saw herself, trembling amidst the chaos. But then the mirror shifted. Old faces she recognized yet hadn't met drifted to the forefront, ghosts of Millfield's past, their eyes filled with an unearthly sadness. A feeling of dread washed over her as she caught sight of one figure, cloaked in darkness, extending a hand toward her. It felt familiar yet wrong. What is this? Panic gripped her throat, and she pulled back, but the mirror held her gaze like a predator. This is your truth, the woman's voice echoed around her, slipping into Maya's thoughts like a serpent. What you see, it reveals your connections to the echoes you seek. Can you handle it? Maya's heart raced unevenly. What did it mean that her past intertwined with these long-gone souls? Her breath quickened as the figure in the mirror lost its shadowy edges, becoming clearer with every pulse of her heartbeat. That's not me. She gasped, but the reflection grinned back, an unsettling mimicry of her own confusion. The woman drew closer, her voice a low hum. But it is. And when you confront this, only then will the true battle begin. A tremor of fear rattled Maya. Was she ready for a fight? Would she turn away from the truth or embrace the shadows lurking beneath? As the world around her began to falter, colors fading, she felt a pull coming from the very heart of the bookshop. A sudden thunder shook the foundations of Millfield, crackling with energy. Find the source, the woman urged, urgency lacing her words. Before it finds you. Just then, the ground quaked beneath her, and the light from the nook flickered dangerously. What was this source? And what would it reveal about her own depths? Dust swirled around her, blurring her vision. In that moment of chaos, Maya knew she had a choice: dare to confront the truth waiting in the shadows or let it consume her entirely. As the ground trembled, something primal awakened within her. She took a step back but felt the weight of resolve settle in her chest. Would she fight the connection or bow to it? The answer lay in the echoes calling her name. But little did she know, she wasn't alone in that pursuit. Something darker was closing in. Maya stood frozen, her heartbeat louder than thunder rumbling outside. The air crackled, heavy with an energy that both terrified and exhilarated her. Raging thoughts clashed in her mind, a tempest rising, battling the instinct to flee and the desperate need to understand. The woman's eyes bore into her. You must find the source, she pressed, urgency amplifying her tone. Time is running out. Maya glanced back at the mirror, where her doppelganger smirked knowingly, a shadow of mockery flickering across its face. What source? She asked, a tremor lacing her words. Each passing moment felt like quicksand, pulling her deeper into the uncertainty. Follow the whispers of the past, the woman replied, her voice steady but laced with an edge of fear. They'll lead you. But beware, dear one, some echoes are best left undisturbed. A shiver traced down Maya's spine. What if she upset something that should stay buried? She gritted her teeth, summoning her courage. She wouldn't back down, not now, not when the truth hovered just within reach. Stepping away from the mirror, she felt the floor tremble beneath her feet again, as if the bookshop itself were breathing. The shelves shuddered, books rattling in their places like a warning gasp. There was an urgency in the air, a call echoing for her to take action. Maya turned and put one foot in front of the other, treading deeper into the maze of old bookcases. Each step resonated with the echoes of footsteps that seemed to follow her, whispering soft warnings and voices that blended into the rustle of pages. Dim lights beckoned from the far corner, flickering like stars across a midnight sky. It was there she would find clarity, amidst the shadows of forgotten lore. Concentrate. Focus, she whispered under her breath, shaking off the doubts that clung like cobwebs. A memory prickled at her mind, the face of the figure extending a hand through the mirror. An image rushed in like a flood. She knew this being, knew it from her childhood dreams, from the fleeting glimpses in family photos, though its intent was cloaked in darkness. She turned suddenly, feeling the weight of unseen eyes on her back. "Who is there?" she demanded. "Show yourself." The silence thickened, the world around her muffling into a daunting hush. And just like that, a book fell from the shelf beside her, landing with a thud that echoed through the aisles. It opened halfway, pages flapping like distressed wings. Drawing closer, she noticed the title on the spine, The Forgotten. Her hand hesitated above it, a hesitant tremor vibrating through her fingers. As she flipped it open, a burst of energy surged, washing over her like icy water. Words slid into view, phrases about the town's buried secrets, a once thriving community haunted by loss and betrayal. Then, she brushed against a name, a familiar one that sent her heart racing, a connection to the figure she knew from the mirror. "What, how?" she gasped, feeling every fiber of her being tighten into an electric anticipation. Before she could process it further, a chilling laugh resonated from behind her. It twisted her gut. "Curiosity can be a dangerous trait, Maya," a voice echoed, soft and deceptively sweet. She felt a cold shiver touch her neck as she turned slowly to face the source. The shadows swirled, forming the outline of a tall figure, cloaked and ominous, eyes glistening with malice. "I see you've taken my bait," it taunted, a cruel smirk playing at its lips. "But do you really want to uncover the truth?" Maya's heart raced, pounding like a drum of dread. What had she awakened now? In that moment, she understood the darkness wasn't just a whisper anymore, it was alive, hunting her down as fiercely as she hunted the truth. Desperation knotted in her chest. She had to make a choice, right here, right now: cower in the face of impending danger or muster the strength she didn't know she possessed to confront it. "Show me," she shot back, voice trembling yet defiant. The figure tilted its head slightly, a glint of surprise flickering in its eyes. "Very well," it said, sinister delight dripping from each word. "Let the shadows reveal the truths you desperately seek and the horrors that come with them." With that, darkness began to close in, swirling around Maya, suffocating yet electrifying. And somewhere beneath it all, the echoes grew louder, calling her voice once more, a siren's song intertwining with her fate. Where would courage take her now? Would she uncover the truth or lose herself in the darkness? The next moment would decide the battle of her life. The darkness wrapped tightly around Maya, a living entity that pressed against her skin. She felt as if the very air was alight with anticipation and dread. Each whisper from the depths brushed against her mind, growing louder, mingling with the relentless beat of her heart, an urgent symphony that echoed both her fear and resolve. As the figure loomed, an unsettling energy pulsed through the room, shadows twisting into menacing shapes that clawed at her courage. "You seek truths that could shatter you," the figure crooned, a voice smooth as silk yet laced with malice. "Are you prepared to face the echoes hidden in the dark?" Maya swallowed hard, the lump in her throat rising like bile. "I have to know," she insisted, her voice a fragile thread barely holding her together. "Whatever comes, I can handle it." The figure chuckled softly, and even that seemed to take form, rolling around her like thunder. Such determination. But the past doesn't always play fair. "Oh, how it waits with a twisted grin to toy with you, Maya." Without warning, the shadows morphed, revealing images from her childhood, flickers of laughter mingling with sorrow. Faces she recognized, still alive in her memories, twisted in anguish. Her heart raced, recalling the stories her mother buried under the weight of a forced smile. "What do you want from me?" she screamed, desperation breaking through. To find the source, the figure whispered, its eyes narrowing, reflecting a hunger for her fear. "You are a part of this intricate tapestry, woven with the secrets of generations. Will you challenge fate, or will you succumb like those before you?" The air thickened, vibrating with energy, as if the bookshop itself held its breath. Maya clenched her fists, drawing strength from the flickering light of the candles scattered throughout the aisle, flickers of hope against the encroaching gloom. She could hear the whispers growing stronger, guiding her heart to beat in tandem with the truths long hidden. "Follow the echoes," a soft voice murmured, barely a breath lost in the tumult. Maya focused, pulling clarity from the chaos. The figure loomed closer, sinister energy radiating from its form. "You're running out of time, child. Each truth unearthed risks awakening what sleeps beneath. Would you risk it all to unveil family ties soaked in darkness? Tell me the truth." Maya shouted defiantly as cold tendrils grasped at her skin, determination igniting her voice like a flame. "I won't let fear dictate my fate." The figure paused, assessing her resolve, a glint of admiration flickering behind its cruel mask. "Now, that's a spirit worth testing. How terribly fun." It gestured broadly with a sweeping movement, and with it, the shadows split, revealing a hidden alcove behind the shelves, glimmering with forgotten items. "This is where secrets reside," it taunted, wicked delight dancing in its tone. "Step into the realm of memories. But know this: what you uncover could consume you." With a thunderous crack, the world tilted, sending Maya staggering into the dim alcove. Books and trinkets glittered like stars in a night sky. A touch to an ancient tome felt like plunging her hand into ice. As the waves of darkness pulsed around her, the whispers peaked, intertwining with her name, not just a call, but a command. A mirror sat at the center, its surface clear yet rippling, tempting her with reflected truths. Each pulse through her veins urged her forward, an irresistible draw toward her own reflection. But when she looked closer, the figure's silhouette emerged behind her, looming, waiting, eager for her to confront what long remained hidden. "Do you dare, Maya?" it asked, promising answers yet breeding doubt. Maya took a step closer, heart hammering. "What truth will it show me?" The air chilled as a heavy silence descended, menace wrapping around her soul. In that moment of decision, everything shifted. Her reflection wavered, and she felt reality fraying at the edges like a worn tapestry. And she understood, deep down, that stepping closer meant not only facing the shadow behind her but unveiling the depths within herself. Would she find the courage to see what awaited her, or would she retreat back into safety, leaving secrets forever buried? The edge of the mirror shimmered, beckoning her with a pulse that resonated through her very core. As she reached towards it, the world around her trembled, and darkness surged. Maya's fingertips brushed the mirror's surface, and a shockwave of ice-white energy surged through her. The moment felt like plunging into icy water, her heart seized, and breath hitched in her throat. The figure behind her whispered sweet nothings, taunting her. "The truth waits, Maya. You crave it. Or do you fear what you'll find?" Trembling, she pressed her palm flat against the glass. The surface trembled, rippling like a disturbed pond, and then, as if her resolve had shattered the barrier, visions cascaded through the mirror like a relentless wave. Images flashed: her mother's face twisted in anguish, the corners of her mouth forever frozen in sadness. The house she grew up in, filled with happiness but corrupted by shadows, carpeted in unspoken fears. Her own voice, a quiet, echoing plea, "Help me." Maya pulled her hand back, eyes wide, the memories clawing at her for attention. "What is this?" she gasped, a chill coursing through her. "Why are you showing me this?" The figure chuckled, each sound a sibilant hiss that danced in the air around her. "These are the echoes of your past, faded whispers waiting to be understood. They hold the key to your family's legacy. You cannot run from them." The room groaned, as if the very wood beneath her feet was alive. Maya staggered, struggling to make sense of the images crashing over her. She blinked, the reflections distorting, coiling into dark tendrils that wrapped tightly around her mind. "Make it stop!" she cried, her voice breaking under the weight of grief and fear. But the figure stepped closer, a sinister gleam in its eyes. "Do you not wish to understand why darkness clings to you? It is time to unearth the truth, to confront your lineage." The whispers swelled into a cacophony, wrapping around her, urging her to listen, to remember. Each voice echoed with pain, loss, and betrayal, lifting like mist from the depths of her family's past, as if drawing back a curtain on forgotten horrors, and then a single voice cleaved through the chaos. Strong, familiar. Her mother's, Maya, some things are better left undisturbed. Confusion twisted in her gut. Why didn't you ever tell me? She whispered, the weight of betrayal heavy in her chest. Trust, the figure interjected, its presence consuming her, is a delicate thing. Are you willing to break the bonds of illusion? To rip apart the fabric of familiarity? Maya felt it, the breaking point. Her heart pounded, confusion melding with anger. How can I trust you? The figure let out a laugh that echoed through the alcove, thick with malevolence. Does trust not dance hand in hand with fear? Unable to separate her thoughts from the swirling memories, Maya stepped forward again, bewildered yet determined. Show me what I need to see. The mirror erupted in a blaze of images, swirling like a tornado of memories terrible, beautiful, and raw. But in one corner of the maelstrom, she glimpsed something darker, lurking. A shadow that seemed to pulse, expanding and contracting like a living thing. Do you see it, Maya? The figure taunted, its voice now smoother, a drugged caress laced with venom. That is the true embodiment of your lineage. What sleeps beneath will awaken if you choose to delve deeper. As she felt herself being drawn into the reflection, the room convulsed around her like a beast awakening from a long slumber. The pull was irresistible, dragging her closer to the unknown, tighter into a gripping embrace of fate, and just as she felt herself crossing the threshold, a blaring alarm shrieked through the torrent of voices, a sound that didn't belong to the darkness. Maya spun around, heart racing. There, in the distance, a sliver of light cut through the shadows of the alcove like a beacon of hope. What is that? She gasped, torn between the horrors of the mirror and the promise of escape. Escape? The figure hissed, a note of desperation creeping into its voice. Do you really think you can run from your own reflection? Maya hesitated, her heart pounding like war drums. Choices cascaded over her, sharp and chaotic. Could she run, or would she dive deeper? Into the family's secrets waiting beneath the surface, the air crackled with energy, the shadows writhed with anticipation. The light beckoned, a siren-esque call. But which path would she choose? And what truth awaited her in that flickering glow? The darkness throbbed around her, whispering promises of revelations still hidden in the night. Maya's heart raced, caught in a tempest between the glowing light and the figure looming behind her. Something primal tugged at her instincts, urging her to flee, while an insatiable curiosity rooted her to the spot. The light flickered again, more insistently this time, revealing an outline of a door amid the darkness. What if it's a trap? She whispered, barely able to vocalize her apprehension. The figure behind her stepped closer, the air thick with its palpable energy. Some truths require sacrifice, Maya, it crooned, its voice slick and smooth like oil. You must choose stay here to uncover your past, or run towards a future built on fear. Swallowing hard, she glanced back at the mirror. The swirling shadows had coalesced into a menacing figure. It clutched something, a glimmering object whose edges looked sharp, ready to cut her if she dared to come too close. What do you want from me? Maya cried, desperation bubbling to the surface. Only for you to embrace your destiny. Only to recognize the power within you. The figure's laughter pierced the air, ringing like a bell. You cannot escape who you are, Maya. Your family's sins echo in every heartbeat. They've led you here. Maya turned abruptly, fixated on the door. It shimmered with a light that felt warm, a sharp contrast to the suffocating cold of the figure's presence. Her instincts warred, and she pressed her hands against her chest, feeling how wildly her heart raced. With a deep breath, she took a step toward the light. I'm not afraid. She shouted, propelling herself forward, determined to embrace whatever lay ahead. But as she approached, the darkness thickened, coiling like smoke around her legs, trying to pull her back. The figure cackled, sinister and triumphant. You cannot choose the light without facing the darkness first. Turn back, child. Turn back and receive the truth you've hidden from. Maya's feet refused to move backward. She was done living in fear. You can't control me. She snapped, grounding herself against the tug of the shadows. I'm the one who will decide my fate. The door's glow pulsated, wrapping around her like the embrace of a long-lost friend. With her heart pounding in her ears, she flung herself toward it. In an instant, she felt the cold grip of the shadows sheath away as she burst through the threshold. A blast of light enveloped her, sharp and overwhelming. She gasped, her senses swirling in a maelstrom of silence and brightness. The world around her fell away, and the next thing she knew, she was standing in an old attic, filled with dust and memories. Sunlight streamed through cracked windows, illuminating forgotten treasures of her childhood. Colorful boxes stacked high, each holding a fragment of her past: a teddy bear, stacks of photographs, and the faded pages of her mother's diary. What is this place? Her voice trembled, barely above a whisper. Just then, she felt an unexpected warmth brush against her arm, and she turned to see an apparition of her mother, bathed in golden light, standing just across the room. Mom. Maya's heart leaped. Is it really you? The woman's gentle smile brought a rush of tears to Maya's eyes. Maya, you've been searching for answers, haven't you? Her mother's voice wrapped around Maya like a soft blanket. But truth can be both a shield and a sword. Are you ready for what this place can reveal? Maya's chest tightened, a mix of hope and trepidation swelling within her. I want to know. But what if it's too much? Her mother stepped closer, eyes shimmering with love and sorrow. Some memories must be uncovered to heal. You need to confront what held you back. Just as Maya considered her mother's words, a loud crash echoed from below, the floorboards shuddering. Panic rippled through her. What was that? Maya. Her mother's warning was sharp, urgent. You're not alone in this attic. Forces on the other side will seek to protect their secrets. The light flickered, shadows pooling at the edges of the room, dark and ominous. You must make a choice, my child, before they consume you. Maya's breath hitched. The path before her was fraught with challenges. Could she muster the courage to uncover the truth, facing shadows both past and present? As the clash of realities reverberated around her, she stepped toward the edge of apprehension. Whatever it takes, she declared, determination flooding her veins. I will confront them. The ominous presence loomed ever closer, and in that moment, she knew one truth. She had awakened the beast within, but would the light she found within echo her mother's guiding heart or lead her into an abyss no one could escape? The walls of the attic creaked, heavy with the weight of forgotten memories eager to escape. Maya's heart thudded louder, the distance between her and that chilling presence shrinking as the shadows swirled like a tempest. Mom, what do I do? She stammered, feeling the walls constricting around her. Maya, listen. Her mother's voice was firm, cutting through the chaos. Trust in yourself. You are stronger than the darkness that seeks to claim you. Maya felt a flicker of warmth inside her, it urged her forward. The boxes calling her were not just relics, they were keys to unlock every chain holding her captive. As she turned away from her mother, the light in her heart surged while darkness whispered dark fears around her. I have to see what they're hiding, she declared, clenching her fists with resolve. She approached the nearest box, its bright colors faded but still recognizable, and pulled it open. Inside lay a collection of old letters, each neatly tied with faded twine, but one caught her eye. It was a letter addressed to her younger self, a message from the past drifting on the edge of memory. Her name written in flowy cursive sent shivers down her spine. Just as she reached for the letter, the loud crash from below rang out again, shaking the very floor she stood on. What is happening? She gasped. The shadows thickened, their whispers turning desperate and furious. Maya, now. Her mother's voice pierced through again. With adrenaline surging, she yanked the letter free and unfolded it. The words spilled out like a flood and connected dots she'd never even known existed. It detailed hidden family secrets, betrayals, and a curse that had bound her lineage for generations. You are the last of the line, it read, and only you can break the chains. A chilling breeze swept through the attic, pulling on her hair and causing the boxes to rattle ominously. Maya's mind raced. I'm chosen, but for what? And at what cost? Your choices are leading you to the truth. Her mother urged, more insistent now, the golden light around her glowing brighter. You must confront the darkness, embrace who you are. Maya's heart danced between fear and hope. She remembered the figure's sinister laughter, echoing in her mind, painting a picture of a destiny that none had dared to face. She had to learn the truth not just for herself but for her ancestors' sake. Enough! She shouted into the shadows, her voice strong. I choose to break free. The shadows recoiled as if struck, revealing a narrow passage behind the stacked boxes, another door shrouded in darkness. It pulsed, resonating with her heartbeat. Maya, be careful. Her mother reached out, but there was a flicker of something dark in her eyes, a hint of warning as well as encouragement. Without hesitation, Maya stepped toward that door, her heart demanding forward motion. I'm ready to confront whatever is in there. But just as she touched the knob, an icy hand clasped her wrist, pulling her back. The oppressive weight of the dark figure from before filled the space, its voice slithering around her. You think you can escape me? You will pay the price for defying fate. Maya's breath hitched, panic clawing at her throat. Just as quickly, she steadied her heart, remembering her mother's warmth, the love that defied death. The darkness could not understand that brightness. Let go! She yelled, pulling away from the icy grip. I am not afraid. As she broke free, the door swung open, revealing a swirling void that promised insight but also danger. Her next step trembled with uncertainty as she faced the unknown, heart pounding against the impending shadow. In that moment, her choice echoed loudly. Would she embrace the light or succumb to the darkness once more? The air buzzed with suspense, shadows eddying around her. Would she be engulfed by her own fears or discover a strength she never realized she possessed? As she stepped through the threshold, the walls began to fade, and she felt the ground shift beneath her, unsure of what fate awaited her. She was ready, or so she hoped, and then, just as she crossed into the void, a haunting cackling echoed through the corridor, freezing her in place. Welcome, Maya. Your journey has just begun. The darkness enveloped her like a thick fog, swallowing any sense of direction. Maya's instincts screamed for her to turn back, to flee from the cackling that reverberated in her mind. But she stood rigid, rooted to the spot, heart racing wildly as the world around her swirled and shifted unpredictably. Then, between the shifting shadows, colors began to emerge: deep reds, haunting greens, and flickers of gold. It was as if the darkness realized her strength and adjusted, revealing memories that had long been buried. Each hue pulsed with a life of its own, drawing her closer. Maya. The voice was like velvet, slinky and seductive. The shadows parted, forming a path forward. You've entered a realm where truth is unveiled. Do you dare to see what lies beneath the surface? Her throat tightened. Truth? Is that what this is? Or more lies cloaked in shadows? She could feel the heat climbing, fueling her defiance. Ah, but secrets have a way of twisting even the purest intentions, the voice mused. Look around you, you are not just a mere victim. You are part of a tapestry, woven in pain and power. Will you unravel it? Maya shivered. Gritting her teeth, she stepped tentatively down the shimmering path. Each step ignited flickers of memories, familiar faces from faded photographs, voices that spoke warnings and whispers of love. She could see her mother's smile, but also her tears caught in grief. The duality of her lineage laid bare. At the end of the path, a mirror hung suspended in the hazy air, its surface rippling like disturbed water. Maya approached, drawn by an invisible tether. She hesitated, an internal battle raging within her. What if the reflection showed her everything she feared? Swallowing hard, she gazed into the depths of the mirror. At first, she saw her reflection as she was wide-eyed and terrified. But slowly, the image clarified, morphing into something raw and fierce. She became a version of herself shielded in golden light, her spirit unyielding in the face of shadows. Embrace this warrior within, Maya, the echoing voice urged. Your fears shape your power. Channel them. There is strength in vulnerability. You are not just the last of your line, you are the first of a new legacy. With those words pounding in her veins, she felt a tremor of resolve surge. I am not afraid of my fears. I choose to stand and fight. In that moment of acceptance, the mirror fractured, shards spiraling in disarray, each fragment reflecting pieces of her past moments of courage, kindness, and growing strength. But then the shadows writhed violently, shattering the newfound warmth. The cacophony of laughter swelled, darkening her spirit. What a lovely transformation. But do you really think you can turn the tide? The cost of this path, dear child, is greater than you can fathom. Are you ready to lose what you love most? Maya's heart dropped. The cost. The images of her mother flickered violently in her mind, a reminder of the tension ripped from her hastily bound past. No. I won't let you take her from me. I won't bend to your darkness. With renewed strength, she reached for the shards of light still lingering, determined to weave them into her armor. The laughter cracked, echoing louder than ever, morphing into rage. You will regret challenging me, Maya. When the time comes, the shadows will call for you. Can you withstand the pull of your own legend? She closed her eyes, centering herself, clenching her fists at her sides. I will fight for my truth. I will not lose myself. Suddenly, the ground beneath her vibrated violently. The cascading colors collided and merged into an inferno of light and dark. Just then, a cataclysmic roar erupted from the shattered fragments. Your journey will not go unchallenged. Look upon what you might lose if you fail. Maya's eyes snapped open, a cold grip wrapping around her heart. Are you ready for the ultimate test, Maya? The void breathed around her, spiraling into an unfathomable depth, and she felt reality tilting dangerously. The strength within her dimmed at the edge of the unknown, fear intertwined with determination as she stood at the precipice. What awaited her beyond the swirling chaos? Would she have the courage to face the shadows lurking in her own heart? With the shadows creeping in closer, Maya knew she had to move. But would she be strong enough to unveil the next shocking truth waiting just beyond reach? The light and dark swirled around Maya, a cyclone of emotions that tangled her every thought. Each flicker of memory felt like a jagged edge pressing into her skin. Would she survive this? A single thought pulsed through her system: I have to confront what lies ahead. With every ounce of determination, she stepped forward into the chaos. The energy crackled as she crossed the threshold into the maelstrom, her surroundings twisting and blurring. Whispers filled her ears, fragments of conversations she had long buried. Then, silence fell abruptly. Maya stood in a vast landscape, transformed into a hauntingly familiar scene, the old house where she had grown up. But this was not the home she remembered. It was dilapidated and worn, shadows creeping across the walls like phantoms searching for solace. Flickering candles cast ghostly light, illuminating remnants of a forgotten life. Dust hung in the air, thick and heavy like the unspoken burdens she had carried. Welcome back, a silky voice floated through the air. The dark figure prowled from the shadows, more defined now, lips stretched into a smirk that sent a chill racing down Maya's spine. You've chosen to face your legacy, but are you ready to take responsibility for what you unearth? Maya took a deep breath, raising her chin defiantly. I'm ready. I'll face whatever waits in the shadows. Very well. With a snap of the figure's fingers, images burst from the walls, floating around Maya like a whirlwind of memories. Each backdrop illuminated moments long hidden, family gatherings wrapped in laughter, her mother's tears hidden behind a forced smile, and whispers of betrayal curling around the edges. Faces from her past filled the space, ancestors she had never met, their eyes filled with wisdom, sorrow, and, at times, despair. Do you see them? The figure hissed. They are all bound by the same curse. You are the last link in a brilliant chain, Maya. End the cycle, or it will consume you. I choose not to be bound by darkness. Each step she took resonated with freedom, her resolve growing stronger as she approached the nearest figure, a ghostly reflection of her mother. "You're not alone, Maya," her mother's apparition urged. "You have the power to change this story." As if summoned by her words, the candles flickered violently, illuminating the room with an ethereal glow. The shadows around the figure recoiled as if stung. "Stop this!" it spat, desperation coating its tone. "You cannot rewrite fate." Maya shook her head, heart pounding. "Courage is rewriting fate. With every choice, I'll sever the chains that bind my family." The shadows surged forward, engulfing her, but she stood firm, feeling the warmth from her mother's spirit enveloping her. "You must let go of the pain to embrace the strength inside you," her mother whispered encouragingly. Suddenly, the world trembled as the figure snarled, "You will find that truth can be a dagger, Maya. Do you have the strength to wield it? Or will it cut you instead?" Maya's voice rang out strong. "I can choose to face my fears. I embrace the pain." The ground beneath trembled, fissuring into cracks, and Maya felt the weight of her ancestors, all the fear, anger, and anguish clawing for acknowledgement. But she also felt something else, gentle nudges of courage, of love. With each heartbeat, the shadows began to dissipate. The house transformed, clearing away the remnants of despair, and sunlight poured through the windows, scattering darkness. The force of her ancestors' pain reverberated in her ribcage, but it only fueled her resolve. "Your time is up," the figure roared, unable to contain its rage anymore. "Embrace the truth or submit to the darkness." Maya stepped into the blaze of light glowing at the center of the room. "I am the truth. I am ready to face every ounce of fear you throw at me." With a deafening crack, the figure lunged, but Maya thrust her hand out, channeling all the power of her lineage through her heart. A blinding light erupted, consuming everything, and she felt the shadows scream, a chorus of voices faltering at last. In the whirlwind of light, Maya saw her mother's figure smiling, warmth radiating from her and wrapping around Maya like a protective cocoon. "You did it. You're choosing to break the cycle." Maya opened her eyes. She stood within a shimmering expanse, hovering between realities. She had faced her fears, embraced her past, and emerged empowered, stronger than she ever thought she could be. The darkness had been vanquished, and the light soared within her, transforming her into a beacon of hope for all the forsaken echoes of Millfield. As she took a deep breath, she felt new purpose bubble within. The truth was a gift, an eternal flame igniting the path ahead. With newfound clarity, Maya uttered, "No more shadows will control this town. It's time to heal, together." And just like that, the darkness retreated, remnants suffocated by light, allowing echoes of forgotten truths to whisper freely in the beloved town of Millfield once more. Don T. Want to know what happens next? This is the moment to show your support. You need to subscribe immediately so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm and help our community grow. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about this wild conclusion. What did you feel? What do you think comes next for Maya and Millfield? And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. True fans like you keep the pulse of this story alive.